This is a quick way to make a good selling school design. This is going to be just kind of a taste of what I'm going to do in my best selling t-shirt series, um, which is going to be an ebook and a collection of videos on how to create best selling shirt designs. And shirt designs don't have to be fancy to be best sellers, that's for sure. So we're going to show here, we just type out all the type first, and this is going to show you how quickly you can do some of these designs. We're going to go ahead and pick a collegiate font there using CorelDRAW. Hit Control K, break them apart. I'll shrink this down. Harrisburg and Hornets can stay a little bigger, like this. And move that over. Establish can be stay that size. Let's go ahead and we're going to make that a negative block here. I'm just going to round it a little bit, just a touch. And then you can always select them both. CE centers them. Control L knocks it out. You don't want to do that if you want to edit it later, but for now that'll work. And I'm going to zoom out because I want this to be just a slight rounded. I could use the envelope tool, but sometimes with these designs the type stays better looking if you do, at least on the top, if you do fit to path. Now one thing I do want to do with this type, I'm going to click twice. I'll hit the control key and then I'll hold the shift key and I'll narrow it up because that gives it a little bit more of that collegiate look. And I'll go ahead and spread it out a little bit using the shape commands there. And then we'll go ahead and shrink this whole thing just a hair. And I'm going to do the same thing here. Shrink it down, and I'll put this down near the bottom. This will give it just a little bit of a collegiate look, which is kind of nice. Way of approaching it, hit the C key, that centers it. And of course you always want to save your file. Control Shift S, I'll just save it to the desktop. HH just to speed things up, keep it going here. Property of, all we need to do is click this and then click it again, make sure it's on Control Ellipse, Control C, Control V, then make another one just a little bit bigger. Property of can be clicked on, we'll fit that to path of the top, and then we'll just elongate it just a tiny bit too, and then spread it out, and then I'll use the shift to just bump the spacing there out a little bit. And now I'm going to go ahead and Control K, break it apart, get rid of this ellipse just to clean things up a little bit. Control K, and then break that apart, get rid of this. This will go up here. Now we want to make like a center piece to this that's real popular, so I'm going to shrink this down and I'm going to save the file again, and then I'm going to hit star. I'll do like 20 sides on it, and then I'll bump the edges of it way up like this, right about to there, and then I'll click on it, Control Q, double click this, that makes them all, selects all the nodes, and then convert them to curve, and then I'll smooth them out. And you can kind of see how it makes that kind of symbol, almost like an award shape or ribbon shape. Let's go ahead and shrink it just a little bit. I'll go ahead and center it here between the two types. Get this out of the way for the time being. And then we want a circle on the inside of it. And then we can align those two, CE. And I'll make another circle inside of that. Right there. This circle I can combine with that. Control L combines them, fill them. And then this one, we can just make a halfway decent size outline here. Next we can pull in a mascot in here and kind of wrap this thing up. The mascot we want, we do have a mascot that we kind of got here. Let's see where it is. There it is. Import it. But this guy, you can see he's only 72 DPI, so wherever they got him, he wasn't quite good enough quality-wise, so we got to bump him up a little bit. 300 DPI should do it, and then we want to squeeze him a little bit. We just kind of squeeze the levels a little bit here. Say okay, that sharpens the edges, and then we can go ahead and trace him. I'll hit quick trace. It doesn't have to be perfect because this guy's just going to be popped inside this symbol here. So, you know, I might lose a little bit of detail on them. I'll delete the one underneath, ungroup them. I'll delete the outside block, and then just Control L. I can fill them with black. It's a quick way of making a mascot there that we can pop in here. So we go ahead and pop that in there. And this guy, he looks pretty good like this, and we're gonna go ahead and make a black bar here. This black bar we are gonna drop in as a power clip effects. Power clip, place inside here, and that way our guy, put him up to the front, fill him with white. There's our guy here. And then we can drop this down below here. Oops. We want to make this control page up a little bit. Page that up. 1998. Now we just need a little symbol up top here. We'll just make an H, and we just want to make it look ornate or whatever. Maybe we'll double it. Have two of them, and then we just want them to be, you know, like a fancy looking font. Pop that in the top here. Kind of wrap that up. And this is kind of a common look for a, you know, for a mascot. And maybe you show it to them and they come back and they say, you know what, we want this negative, not positive. So then we go, okay, well, then I'll switch this to white. Inside my power clip, I control clicked on it to get in there. And then, well, okay, I got to make the other parts black then. So I just fill this with black when it's still inside the power clip, and I put it below it. And then when I go back out, you know, I just switched what I had, which is kind of cool. And then you can just make these white and this white and this part black. So you see how that works. And now this guy, you know, could be a little bigger. Fill up the space a little more. Save it. And we're pretty much good to go. Now, you might want to add a distress to this real quick, like we did before, previous video. Real easy way to do that is just to come in and find a texture you have here. Here's a texture. Import it. Remember? Now we just slip it sideways here. Let's make sure it covers the whole thing. Here, let's make it mode grayscale, and then let's effects just tone curve. Let's just go ahead and give it a little bit of black, and I'll knock a lot of it out. Let's preview that and see. Yeah, we want a little more. Ooh, I'll reset it. So we'll go to about there. Knock most of the rest of it out. Preview that. That looks pretty good. Say OK. Let's go ahead and mode black and white. Go to line art. OK. And then we fill nothing. And then you'd outline with white or whatever distress you want. If that was too much distress, maybe you'd squeeze it. Sometimes I'll squeeze it and duplicate it kind of quickly, make it a little finer distress that way. So I just made two pieces. And that's a quick way to making a good selling school design with a distress on a you know, on a short budget. Stay tuned, and I'm going to upload some more videos, and then I'm going to put the whole series together as how to make best-selling shirts in the shortest amount of time.